Hello everyone and welcome back into the channel. Guys, in this video I'm going to explain to you how you can pretty much retire yourself just trading the SCHD, okay? I want to explain to you why I picked this ETF here, but of course there's plenty of other ETFs you can use as well, okay? And I'm going to explain to you things in terms of liquidity and the spreads, which is very crucial, especially when we're going to pick up here where we're going to put our strike price, okay? But when it comes to the wheel strategy, you need to be really careful. Why? Because we need to have one thing in our mind. We must be willing to hold this thing here for the long term. Let me explain to you, okay? I'm gonna run you guys through all this number here. So once we come to these numbers here and we are happy with everything that we see, what you're gonna do is we're gonna ask ourselves, do you wanna hold this thing here for the long term? Yes, we do. And the reason why I did the SCHD, because as you guys can see here, I'm buying SCHD every single day, no matter what. And I do have SCHD inside this challenging portfolio here. And so far, with a small account of roughly $33,000, we have roughly 265 shares of SCHD. And SCHD eventually is going to become a 50% almost part of our portfolio, with 30% let's say SCHG and 20% JEPQ, okay? Or maybe 20% SCHG, 20% JEPQ, and the rest just risk assets like SCVol, MIST, EWZ, and even Ford, if you know what I mean, okay? And this is what I meant when it comes to picking what ETF you want to trade. Because the main thing you need to ask yourself is, am I holding this thing here for the long term? Yes, I am. Great. If not, that's the biggest mistakes people do when trading the wheel strategy, okay? Because it's very simple. We're going to start here with our cash secure put options. Let's say, for example, we're going to sell here one contract. And if we do get a sign, we're gonna hold 100 shares. Once we get a hold here, we're gonna sell here a covered call, another one contract. Once we get let's say a sign again, or the stock trade above our covered call, we're gonna sell our shares, and then we're gonna rinse and repeat. We're gonna collect premium here, we're going to collect premium here as well, and all these two premium here, where they're gonna get back to, they are going to back to our SCHD for us to buy more shares. Let me explain to you. So if I go back here, if I go to Care Secure Put Trading Journal, all this money here that we are collecting, actually this one is probably even better. Here we go. All this money here that we are collecting here, what we're doing is we are pretty much buying more shares of SCHD. So we're gonna have that loop like I explained to you guys. Premium and premium. Thank you very much. Premium here for the covered call, premium here for the cash secure put. And where this premium goes? To buy more SCHD. The same thing that's happening right now with our dividends, okay? And I explained this to you guys many times. So here, for example, so you can have an idea, okay? So we collect dividend here, we buy 3 shares of this specific product, or we buy 2 shares of SCHD. We collect dividend here, we buy 11 of the same product, or buy 9 of SCC and SCHD. Here, the same thing, we buy 6 of the same ETF, or we buy 5 of SCHD. In other words, every single premium that we are collecting, we are pumping back to our SCHD, which eventually is going to become the majority of our portfolio, okay? So the first thing we're gonna do here, look in the chart. We have here all our support levels, our KP1, KP2, and KP3. If you don't have a clue what it is, once you become a member in our community, you can get access to all these things, okay? So we have our first here, let's say, line of support, the second one, and the third one. But again, every time in this channel, it's a long-term investing approach. These lines here, we use that just as a complement into our strategy. Regardless where the price is going to trade down here, we are going to hold this thing here for the long term anyway, okay? Because the market doesn't care less where you put your lines, okay? Remember, the market follows a random walk. And if you don't know what I mean, random walk, do yourself a favor, do not even trading any sort of ETFs or stock or whatever. Okay, so basically, sorry for my throat. What I'm trying to say to you is we are going to sell here very close to the money. Why I'm picking a strike price at the money? Because I want to collect a decent price. Okay, I don't want to collect here peanuts, collecting pennies in front of the steamrollers. It doesn't work like that, okay? We need to make sure we collect here enough premium. And how are we going to do that? We're going to come back here to our Excel. We're going to go here to our simulator. Okay, because remember, all the risk and trade management, it is done before you press the trigger. You don't do risk management after you press the trigger. That's too late. That's your trade management. Your risk management is done before. So basically, what you're going to do is you're going to sell a $27 strike price. SCHD, a 2nd of June 2025, is trading at $26.18. We are going to collect $1.10 in premium. And of course, I'm doing here for one contract, but you can scale this as much as you like. If I go back here to TastyWorks so you can have an idea, if I go back here, what we're going to do is we are going to sell this trade here, just to make things easy so you guys understand, okay? So here we're selling a $27 strike price. We are going to collect here the mid price, which is $1.10. We're going to sell here one contract with 46 DT. We like to stay something between 30 to 0 DT. I'd say 45 to 0, okay? But of course, nothing close here. I'd say between 30 to 45, it is our sweet spot. This is when 30K start to work for us very well, okay? And as you can see, SCHD is trading 26 and 18 cents and a 46 DT. And by the buying power, it's going to cost us $118. And our PNL is going to be $110. This is our maximum PNL. Why? Because when it comes to put option, okay, our PNL, it is capped by the premium that we're going to collect. And this time here is $1.10. Okay, very, very crucial that you guys do understand. But back here to the Excel. So let's see the stats. Our break even, of course, $25.90, which it is our K minus our P. Things relevant here, 3.3% below, not below, downside protection, which it is our premium that we're going to collect minus the S note, which is the price of SCHD today. 46 DT premium per day. How much you're gonna use to purchase the stock if we get a sign, and it's going to be $27. So I didn't have the screen here. $27. And our maximum loss $25.90, which it is our break even if SCHD goes to 0. But if SCHD, sorry, no GD, goes to 0, my friend, guess what? You're gonna have way more things important to be concerned in your life than this trade here, okay? And our annualized return, okay, on risk, which it is buying the shares, it's 33%. That's amazing, amazing, amazing. The reason why it's green, because it's above our threshold of 20%. We don't wanna trade anything below 20% annualized on risk. And of course, on buying power, actually it's even more, because buying power for this trade is 117.25. So buying power, look at this annualized return, guys, on buying power 175. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Okay, and you must have something like this before you press the trigger. And again, you can get access to these things in our community as well. Okay, so these things here are very important that you do understand, because if you run these numbers and it doesn't just, let's say, satisfies your initial requirement to press the trigger, do not press the trigger, okay? So these are things that we're going to do. And of course, if I go back here to TastyWorks, let me go back here. After 46 days without doing any trade management whatsoever, okay? If SCHD trades, still trades below our strike price of $27, what we're gonna do is we're gonna do some trade management. Okay, but of course, there's plenty of things we can do with this thing. If we get a sign, what we're gonna do is we can sell some covered call and become this a wheel strategy, or we can take these shares here and take into our LTI, long-term invest, and start to collect dividend. There's plenty of things you can do, whatever satisfies your trading plan. In my case, I'm going to run this thing here on a wheel strategy because we do have our shares that we buy on a daily basis anyway. So this contract here, which is equivalent of 100 shares, I'm going to run this on the wheel strategy. If I get a sign, I'm going to sell covered calls. And if we get a sign, we're going to get rid of the shares, thank you very much, and we're going to rinse and repeat. Okay, very, very simple. Step 1, and then let's call this 1.1. Step 2, step 2.1. Okay, the main thing here is this one, premium here and premium here as well. And depending where you put your strike price, you might also have some capital gain on your shares, because if we get a sign here, let's say at 27, which it is our put strike price, and if we sell here 27.5 covered calls, we're gonna have here 50 cents on capital appreciation of the shares from 27 to 27.5, plus the premium here that we're going to collect. Let's call this premium 1 and premium 2. All right, it's a massive income generating machine, and this is our OCA. If you want to learn all these things, guys, free by the way, click on the first link on the description below, and I'm gonna teach you all these things for free. You can learn all this stuff. You don't need to pay 1 cent whatsoever. Okay, but this is what we're going to do now with SCHD. Why? Because it is very, very safe, because this thing here pretty much follows the market. It's almost trading SPY. We're gonna trade this one here because the buying power requirement, it is way less than if you were to trade the SPY. Okay, very, very, very simple. And the last thing, like I said, we also can have all this thing here turn into different strategy, high yield ETF in our portfolio, or just sell covered call. Because the mistake that people do, what they do is they come here to trade in view, for example, and they start to trade anything stock, anything thing that can make income. That's the biggest mistake. Biggest mistake ever, ever, ever. The reason why I choose SCHD, because I want to hold this thing here for the long term. So regardless where SCHD is going to close, it doesn't matter. I don't care less. If SCHD trades all the way down here, it's even better, because I can do my base cost even low, can drop my base cost even lower, or I can buy even lower this thing here for the long term. That's the main thing you're supposed to be concerned when trading the wheel strategy. You must trade something that you want to hold for the long term. But in a nutshell, that's what we're going to do. But before we go, I really suggest you guys to build something like this so you can run your numbers to see if it satisfies or qualifies your trading requirement, especially for the entry trades. Okay, I do this for everything, not just cash secure put, but also for the covered calls, as you guys can see. If I run the numbers and doesn't make sense for me, I'm sorry, I'm not taking the trade. And it has to be annualized rate of return. Okay, and of course, you have to have your criteria here. In this case here is 20%. Why? Because if we get 20% in our capital, we'll be over the moon. But 20% of $1 million, it's only, I don't know, $20,000, guys. It's your portfolio that's very small. Okay, if you have $1 million, that's what, 20%. 20% is $200,000. Okay, per year. If you have 1,000, it's like what, $200. That's nothing. All right, but the problem is not the percentage, is your portfolio size. Okay, but getting 20% annualized every single year, it's an amazing achievement. Even if we get, because our goal is between 10 to 12% annualized, which is roughly 1% per month. It's amazing. It's a massive return, 1% per month. With a portfolio of $1 million, that's 10K per month. That's amazing. Amazing, 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 amazing. Okay, why? Because you want to keep things here very, very realistic. Okay, we don't want to sell something here for you guys in terms of being rich next day or next month, next year. That ain't gonna happen. Okay, but If you want to learn everything that we do, our long-term investing, our challenge, everything, you can join all these people here. They are part of our Discord group, okay? You are welcome to be part of our community. But again, put one thing in your mind. Nobody get rich overnight. You have to be patient and you have to be disciplined as well. And the things that are going to get us where we are is this thing here, dividends as well every single month. And of course, collect income, trading options. As you guys can see, we got plenty of option trades under our belts, and we trade every single day, no matter where the market is, with a proper trade and risk management, and of course, also being discipline, which is the main thing. Okay, but regardless if you join or not, I want to wish you all the best. And don't forget, when it comes to option trading, position size, it's the main thing. And if you guys have any question whatsoever, just leave your question below and I'll get back to you as soon as possible. But SCHD, and before we go, just to answer some of you, okay, this thing here, I don't know if you pay attention, the liquidity, it's not too bad whatsoever. Okay, let me go back here. So the liquidity of SCHD, it's not bad. All right, it's not the best, it's not the SPY, but that's not bad whatsoever. 1.6, 1.1, 1.6. Of course, all these close the money, are the money options, okay? But if you need to do some trade management, rolling, manage, whatever, you're gonna be able to do so, okay? There's not something here that's really bad. It actually is not too bad when it comes to liquidity, which is very crucial when you trade options well. But the worst case scenario, guess what? If you can't do anything, my friend, thank you very much, is going back into the bag of my long-term portfolio, and every single month I'm going to collect passive income. Okay, thank you very much. I wish you guys all the best. Stay safe and happy investing.